All right, been gone for a little bit. We're gonna get back on the Omni here. Gonna finish the rear brakes up and get these wheel bearings cleaned up and get them repacked with grease and put back in the hubs, the new hub seals, and get them back on the car. And then hopefully that goes quickly, and we get that done. Maybe I'll get the car down, or while I got to do some stuff on the fuel tank. Then I got to put it back down and get the master cylinder back on and stuff. And you know, long process, takes hours, but slowly we're getting there. So let's get the camera set up here for the parts washer. This is going to be super exciting. Not really. Mostly just stinky. Grab my wire brush here that's not as ruined. And I'm just going to get all this old grease knocked out of these bearings. Timkins. Good bearings. I just want to work all the old sticky grease out of all the grooves here and around all the rollers, and that way the new grease can get in there and flow through them like it needs to. Keep the bearings lubricated while the car's driving down the road. It'd be tricky to get the grease out when it's old and sticky. It's going to get noisy from time to time. It's raining today and my shop does not have insulation, so I don't know if I can hear it starting to rain again. It might pick up and get really loud. I'll try not to talk during that time. Or if I do, I'll get really close to the camera. If not, you probably won't be able to hear me because you already probably can't hear me that good. So I'm just trying to get all the grease out of this groove, out of the groove here, and then trying to get off of the rollers as much as we can, and making sure that it's knocked out of the cage here in between each of the rollers, so that way the new grease can get through there when I pack it, and then as it spins in the car and it gets warm, because as grease gets warm it kind of turns to an oil, it'll be able to lubricate these rollers on the bearing race to keep the bearings from getting hot and going bad. Of course, if you tighten these down too tight when you put them back in, it can make them get hot and burn up as well. So when we put those back on, we just snug them up just lightly. So I'll try to get one of these done so we can get one side put together, and then I'll just do the other side off camera, because it does take a little bit of time. It is a little bit boring, but okay. It's not perfect, but it is pretty clean. So I'm gonna set it over here on a clean rag. See, this is the really sticky one. retainer washer here. We'll get this cleaned off real quick. That's a quick, easy one. Clean out on this side here. Really sticky one back in. Trying to figure out which one should have paid better attention, because it's good to keep them with the same race that they came out of. This is the one, I think that's the one that came out of the, yeah. This one came out of the side that I thought was better, but it was, the back bearing was this really sticky one. So. Set this washer over here. We'll get the one hub done. I'll continue to let that other bearing that's really full of the sticky stuff sit. Go ahead and get one hub put together, and now I don't have to watch the babysit the camera. Do the YouTube movie magic as far as, and so if you guys having a super long video of me doing the same thing twice, eventually I'll figure out how to edit videos better, and I'll just do be able to speed up videos and stuff when I'm doing this repetitive stuff. Now we can just record all the footage or all the stuff I'm doing and get it all put together in a video, and it won't be 2 hours long. And I want to try to keep them shorter. I keep ending up with longer videos because I don't really have the editing side of things figured out, and eventually I'll get there. I just got to learn more. It would help if I was doing it on a computer instead of my phone. So that's the other thing. I got to get my computer fixed or get a new computer, because it's not wanting to work for me anymore, because it's old. Go figure. I don't use the computer a lot, so I just hadn't worried about it for a long time, and then started getting into making videos here. And totally capable of doing it on my phone, but makes it hard to edit. My phone has showed me when I go into the video editor editing options on my camera that there's a video editor app, or editing app, I guess. So I might see about that, because it doesn't let me fast forward very quickly, and I'd like to be able to fast forward quicker and be able to put different be able to add some music and stuff in there for you guys for when I'm doing this stuff. And then you're not sitting here listening to me talk while I'm fiddle farting around trying to get all this stuff cleaned up. Okay. Got that bearing cleaned up real good. I'm gonna grab a rag. I'll move the camera over here. Okay. So I'll come back over to this later and finish these ones up and get the other hub put together then. But for now, we're gonna just work on this one here. So that way you guys can see what the whole process here. So, gonna get this solvent off of my hands here, and I'm going to grab my graphite moly grease we'll get these bearings cleaned up the rest of the way, and we'll get the bearings packed, get this back one put in, get the seal in it, and get that back on the car. So get this all dried off here. I probably should go turn the stereo off because I don't want to have any copyright infringement type things or whatever. I mean, I'm not monetized yet anyways, so I guess it probably doesn't matter. I'm not sure. I gotta look into the rules more. I didn't see anything on that when I was looking at YouTube, posting videos or making a YouTube channel in their policies. I just know that if it's trademarked music or registered music, they can cause you to not get monetization. So I'm not doing that right now. But I'm gonna go turn the radio off. So now way nobody can complain. It's kind of a bummer because it'd be nice to have some music going, but I'm not sure if I have any. Oh, you know what? I know where that's at. Well, we're just gonna use the red grease. Other grease is somewhere else, so we'll just use this stuff. It's not like this car is gonna see a lot of abuse. All right, so put a nice little glob in my hand there. So the idea is to push this edge against your palm, and just with a little bit of grease under it, and it'll push it up through from the bottom there between the rollers. And that's how you pack a bearing. So you can see some of the grease is coming through it, maybe. I don't know, let me see. Yeah, like right there. It's just barely, you can just barely see it. Let me see if I can get it to squirt out more. There we go. See, it's squishing out between the inner race and the cage. That's what you want it to do. So that way it's got grease all the way from this side all the way through, and then you just continue that all the way around. And you just keep doing that. Until you get it all the way around like that. Doesn't take that long, but it is messy, and of course probably should always wear gloves because it's petroleum products. It's not good for you to absorb into your skin, but sometimes I don't. I'm not always the best with that. Like most car guys, we kind of just get the job done, and we're okay with having greasy, slimy hands, but it's not necessarily healthy. So, all right, just got a little bit more. I got like the perfect amount of grease. Okay. So that's all done. So what we're gonna do is take this little bit of extra and we're gonna put it in here. Actually, I'm going to take a little bit more and put it in the hub, just to kind of help coat the old grease that is still in there, the little bit that's in there that we weren't able to get out. So hopefully it won't be an issue. Okay. We got our little outside bearing here. Get enough grease in my hand. Do the same thing. This bearing's little one, so partially packed. A little more grease. It's easy to get impatient and want to just rub a bunch of grease all over it, and it would probably, you know, really, I don't know if it would be okay or not, but at least if you take the time to work the grease up through the bottom side there, at least you know that there's grease all the way through it. And then you don't have to worry about if there's enough grease in there. Definitely a time-consuming little thing to do, but okay. So that's done. I'm gonna go set it over here, and then I'll move the camera over and we'll get this hub on. Grab my rag here, get my hands cleaned off. Messy, messy, messy. Oh yeah, we gotta put this bearing, or this hub seal in. So, do that real quick. Turn the camera. That way you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, so there's an inside edge and an outside edge. The outside edge of your seal is always going to be rolled that way. The other side's going to have more rubber exposed. We're going to try to put this in as center as possible. Get it partially started and try to hold it down and tap the other side of it in. There it goes. Go. Just gentle little taps all the way around until we get it in there flush, and you can hear the tone change when you start smacking the hub. I could wire wheel the inside of this drum, I guess, but we're not going to worry about it. It'll wear down. Okay, over to the car we go. We'll get this, go ahead and get this drum on here. Let's change the camera angle here real quick. Set this down. So remember, we got to adjust this too to help get the shoes, the width of the shoes set for the drum. So first thing we'll do is we'll just slide this on and see what we got. So there's a ton of room. So we need to move this wheel this way a whole bunch. That's what we do. We just spin this out like that. It'll screw that outward, pushing the shoes out. Let's see. Go a little bit more. We're close. So you want it where the drum just slides over. So just about like that. And there is a little bit of a lip here, so probably let's go like 2 more notches. It'll be just a little bit of a struggle to get it on, but I'm gonna grab a little bit of grease here. Just want to put some grease on the inside of here. Help that have some good lubrication, and then just for good measure to make sure the seal has a better chance of not tearing or wearing weird, we'll put some grease around on that. We can even put some on here. That way it'll spin on that shaft and won't chafe the rubber or tear it or do any kind of weird thing to make it where water can get in. Because this car, really all it's doing is keeping some dirt and water out. Whatever might get in there while the car is driving down the road. Okay. Now we'll pop this bearing in here. And you've got the little groove to line up with that washer. Super simple, just like that. And then we've got the spindle nut. I'll wipe that off, get all the old stuff off of it real quick. And I'm sure there's some torque specification or some proper amount of tightness you're supposed to do with this. This car is so light, I'm just going to do it like it's a trailer. Well, that's how I do all the old cars, but basically, we're just going to give it we're going to spin it as we tighten it, and we're just going to snug it down enough that it drags really hard, and then we will back it off a turn a little bit. Pretty simple stuff here. So we're already snug down by hand, so we're just gonna give it a little more snug and roll it. And keep doing that, rolling it. So what we want to do is we want to push that grease out from in between the rollers and the bearing race, so that way we have a good metal to metal contact. That way this won't loosen up on us as we drive it and end up having sloppy hub, which can cause bad bearing wear. So, and then the other thing is if you got brand new, if you're using all brand new bearings, it helps seat make sure you got the races and everything in there good. So that's enough spinning that. So now we'll go ahead and get in here and we'll loosen this off a little bit. Let's go like right there. Yeah, we'll go back a little more. I want to go until I just get a little bit of clunk in there like that. And then just snug it. Just snug it up just enough that it doesn't do that. It has some good spin on it. And then we just got to put the keeper on with the cotter pin. Clean this up a little bit. That much old grease. So there's a hole drilled through here, and that has the cotter pin goes through there. So you just kind of turn this on the nut until you get one that lines up here, and then take your cotter pin and go ahead and jam that puppy right in that little hole there and on through to the other side. Let me get my pliers. I should have grabbed my little rubber hammer. So anyways, Sometimes you have to twist them back and forth to get them to line up through the holes. Once you do that, you just give her a quick little fold over. And you want to get these folded all the way tight so they don't hit the dust cap. Just like that. Okay, so that is, got the drums on, bearings greased, new shoes, new hardware. Oh, that went right on my hand. Usually gotta pound them on, but we'll go ahead and give her a few taps, make sure she's fully seated, and that's it. That's done. So now I'm gonna go ahead and bust the other side out, and then we'll have the rear brakes done on this thing. Wasn't not too hard of a job. Anybody can do this, really. It just takes a little bit of time and patience, basic hand tools, and you can do it. So I'll go ahead and get the other side done, and then, like I said, I got to do some stuff on the fuel tank. The filler neck seal up under here is split. It's got a bunch of big cracks in it. I got a new one of those, so I got to get up in here and figure out how to unattach. Looks like just a few screws. Get this filler neck pipe pulled loose and pulled down. So I'll probably bring you guys back when I get to that point and get that fuel filler neck done. And I got some fuel lines under here to do. So I'll probably bring you guys back to do that, and then we'll probably call it a day.